Hi, this is Dan from Magic Pachinko Restorations, and this video is designed to give one of my customers a good look at her machine in action and show her how to set it up. But if you're watching and you're not my customer, then it will give you a good idea of what a power flash is all about, because I want to step through it. So as you can see right now, this red light is on, meaning there are no balls in the machine whatsoever. That's why that red light is on. So a power flash machine has a solid color background and an overabundance of tulips with a card playing theme. That's the way your power flashes are set up. This is called the Power Flash Thunderbird because of this center attraction. There's also a Power Flash Chinaman, which has a slightly different center attraction and another tulip down here, and the tulips react a little bit differently. The cool thing about these machines is that all of the solenoids are all of the tulips are solenoid driven, and I'll show you that in just a second. Completely restored machine, so everything you see has been taken off, completely all torn down into its individual pieces and then restored. The only thing that I did not restore on this machine is the outside cabinet, and there's a reason for that. Don't need to go into it now. Okay, so let me get this turned around so that you can see the back side. This machine does require that you plug it in. It runs on 24 volts through this transformer down here. The excess wire here is so that once it's mounted in a wall cabinet, you'll be able to swing the machine out from the wall cabinet, because this, you've got to have the slack, because this is permanent here, and you need the slack to be able to do that. So again, it's very typical of a Nishijin Model B machine. There's your ball out light, and the jackpot light is actually back behind here. Now what makes this different is with, as I mentioned before, the solenoids. This is a solenoid driven machine. All of the tulips work, all but one of the tulips work off of solenoids. And I'm going to open this up. So you release this, you release this. There's two down here that you just release and pull back. Okay, and once you have all of that released, then the entire guts, this over. Oh, there's balls in there. I forgot about the balls. So this is the way that, this is what makes this machine unique with the solenoids. So there's 4 solenoids that move up and down, and depending on which solenoid fires, when this one fires, I believe opens the tulips. When this one fires, it closes the tulips on each side. So the 4 on this side and the 4 on this side are solenoid driven. The one in the middle is not. It acts like a normal tulip. So that's why this machine has a lot of extra stuff. There's actually an extra board on this. So this has all been torn apart. Every one of these little pieces is broken down. All of the pivot points, these brass pivot points, have been cleaned, had the corrosion taken off of it, so that you can be assured that this will function the way that it's supposed to for many years to come. I did wire in what I call a cheat switch. I'll show you that in just a second, but this is the wiring here for the cheat switch. Okay, so let's get this put back together, and we'll show you the machine in action. This catch is a little bit difficult to get back where it belongs. So I think for the time being, I won't worry about it. Get the other ones back in place. Normally you would never open this, but I did want to show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so again, this goes up to this terminal block. There's a rectifier in there that takes that 24 volts, feeds it into the solenoids through these two wires, and then these two wires here, the yellow and the blue, come up out of here with 12 volts rather than 24, and it's the 12 volts that's connected here that powers this bulb and that bulb. The double blue that goes up to these wires provides 24 volts. So, okay. So, a couple of things you need to be aware of. Right here is a latch system, and this is part of the ball dump mechanism. If you notice on the outside of the machine, I'll try to remember to point it out, there's a little plastic piece with a hole in it. If you had a skinny rod or something, you could push through, and when you push through, it puts pressure on this, and it will allow this to jump free. Actually, this should be down here like that. Okay, so when you push down, it opens this to reset it, and you go like that. Now, if it had balls in here, by doing this, it would let all of the balls up to this point drop out of the machine. You still have to clear the ones that are here, but to get the machine ready to play, make sure this is lashed, or all the balls will come out. Down here is a little, just a little rod that goes up and down, and that interfaces with what's called the seesaw. The seesaw is normally in a position like this. It's the white plastic that's in there. Normally in a position like this. Sometimes when the machine gets jostled around, it'll go like this, and if you try to play it with it in this position, it won't pay out. It needs to be up initially. So just by pressing up, you bring it back up where it belongs. So those are the two things on the back side that you really need to be aware of and cognizant of. There's a couple other things I'll show you in just a second here. Get the balls out of the way. This is the release here that will allow the whole unit to swing free of this frame. So once you get it mounted in your cabinet, you need to make allowances to be able to get your hand in through the cabinet to the point where you can get at this. And there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Same thing on the other side. This is a lift up, and when you lift up, it releases the chrome frame that holds the plexiglass. So this one you can actually just tie a wire to and go right up through the top of your cabinet, and then just lift, and it'll lift this and open up your front door. This one's a little trickier. You got to play with that a little bit. So to start this pachinko, pretty much any pachinko, you need to load in some balls. So the first thing you do is you take, for example, if you have 300 balls, you're going to put 275 of them up here. The vast majority of the balls you have go in the upper tray. So again, because this has been set, the balls fill up, go down, turn, drop down into the jackpot chamber. There's 14 on either side. I'm sorry, 7 on either side. That's what will pay out when a prize is made. Notice now that the weight has shifted, and this is no longer making that contact, so that light is off. Over here is the reed switch that will light up the pay light when you do get a jackpot. Okay? So we're going to turn this around and get it ready for play. And obviously I do have this plugged in. Okay. Okay. So now the light is out here, and we're going to take some pachinko balls, load them into the upper hopper, and then we're going to start to launch balls in an effort to win. Now right now, if you notice, the tulips are closed on the left side, they're open on the right side. I'm going to leave them like that just for a minute. the first time you play, the absolute first time when it's empty and you load a ball, it's not going to launch a ball. It takes one cycle to get a ball inside the machine. Now when we launch, it'll launch a ball. And it's easy to do to get into the yellow ones just because of the way they're set with the nails. And if you get it in this yellow or that yellow, the solenoids fire and close the appropriate tulips on either side. So right now all the tulips are closed. I'll launch a couple more balls and see if we get lucky. It's a lot harder to get the balls in when the tulips are closed. Okay, that went into the Thunderbird. There's no switches in there, so it just pays the prize. I'm not sure where that went, but it gave us a prize. Okay, so you see how it works under normal circumstances. What I want to do now is open the front door and show you all of the different trigger points on a power flash. So as I mentioned just a second ago, in on either side of the Thunderbird, those are not trigger points. There's no switches in there. There are, however, switches here, 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 and here. So depending on where the balls go, first thing I want to show you is when you get, if you, under normal play, if you put a ball in the king, internally it zigzags between the tulips and we'll open them. Same on the other side. And again, I've not got this 100% set up, so don't worry about things like this that aren't working 100%, because I've got to do a lot more testing, but I did want to get this video set up. And of course that one's not going to go through. There it goes. Again, this will all be fixed by the time you get it. Okay, so now that we have the tulips open, again, if you go into the queen on either side, it'll close them. If you get a ball that drops into the center and it stays on the left side, it'll trigger this switch and open the tulips on the left side, same with the tulips on the right side. Close them back up again. If you play a ball in the center and it drops into the center, it will open all of the tulips. It opens the 4 on each side with the solenoids, and as it drops through, it will open the 9th tulip also. Okay, so that's how all of the different switches in the machine work. I'm going to close them up now. And show you one more thing. As I said, with the switches, with the tulips closed, it's a lot tougher to win. And I haven't tweaked the nails yet either. I need to make sure that the balls won't get hung up. Now, if you notice, on that win, this light came on, and that is now telling us that you need to transfer some of these balls back into your hopper. So by pushing back, it lets balls go from here to here. You transfer, in your case it'll be in your cabinet. You're going to open it up, swing it out, and then do a dump back into the upper tray. There will be a catch box that I'll make that will catch the balls that go into the drain hole. That'll be on the back side. So again, something I need to do before I ship you the machine. So all the tulips are closed. You're playing and you're going, hey, come on, I want to win. What I did is I wired in a cheat button. It's this little red button right here. You just push it momentarily and it will open all the tulips. And then obviously as you start to play, you're going to win, unless of course you put it in the yellow one and they close up again. It's pretty easy to get it into that yellow one, so you just cheat and open them back up again. So I hope that gave you a good look at your machine. Again, don't worry about anything that did not function during the video. This is still not 100% tested. I'm not happy with it yet. I won't ship it to you until I'm happy with it. But good luck at a Power Flash Thunderbird. Thanks.